Welcome everyone to another episode of the Real Estate Deli. I'm your host Mando, Manifesting Mando on IG. This is an episode where we cut through all the noise and deliver actionable insight to you and make the information the star. And today we got a great guest today, one of my boys in the industry, Lance Willard. How are you, brother?
I'm doing good, brother. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm glad to have you. You know, we've met. We in the same mastermind, so we've met a couple of times. I think we sat next to each other in some of our masterminds, here and there. So we got to kind of know each other by face a little bit. And then we recently had our mastermind in Boston, which is Pace and Jamil's mastermind called Owners Club, which he's wearing a sweater now. And I believe in the lobby. I guess we got in at around the same time. And
you was in the airport. Yeah, you was in the airport, and I was like, "Oh, I know him." And I went over there, and we was waiting to board the same plane.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Wow, you got a great memory. That is very true. That's right. You flew up and you connected. You had a connected flight, and that's super true. And then we check in the hotel. And then we're sitting at the bar a couple of minutes later.
Yep.
So, right. Literally, that's how it went. So we got to know each other somewhat over a beer, which was cool, right? You get to know someone intimately. When you're in a group of 400 or 500 people, it's hard to get around, right? So really get to get a feel of someone and see where they're at. So that was super cool. I was grateful to able to hang out with you.
Thoroughly.
Right.
Yes.
And drinks on you the next one.
Yes, sir.
Right?
Yes, sir. Let's do it.
That's right. So that was awesome. That was an awesome time that we had. And so Lance, tell us about your journey in real estate. What made you get in real estate? How long you've been in it? Give us a little insight.
All right. I used to run an IT department at the police department locally here. And I was talking to my wife. I was like, public service, I get a little pension. I ain't gonna get much. You put stuff into a 401k. What am I gonna do when I retire? And so I started doing some research. What do people do? How can I make some money but yet not have to work a full-time job and all that? And discovered real estate. And I was like, well, let me look into it. And it was something like 90% of the top 1% of the richest people in the world do real estate. And I was like, okay, well, let me research a little more. And it just started piquing my interest. And so I got on Bigger Pockets and all that and started learning things. And saw Pace, and like a lot of people in sub 2, they just levitate or gravitate towards him, and I signed up with him. But in 2021, I say 2020 was when I started thinking about it. 2021, me and the wife started doing things. Last February, I quit my W-2, so I didn't retire. I quit.
Resigned.
So I can do full-time real estate investing, so I can retire my wife. She's like, hey, you stop so you can retire me earlier. I said, let's see what we can do.
I love that.
So
okay. So you joined Pace's community. That was you did a little research. You saw where the money was at, who makes the money and how, and you said, okay, let's go down this little rabbit hole and see what this is about. Yep. Pace comes into your world, your algorithm, let's say.
Yep.
And then you join sub 2.
Yep.
And in sub 2, obviously, you're going to see different opportunities, like different avenues to get into the business, which sometimes could be overwhelming, could be over information.
Yes.
And it might cause some people not to even take action because they're kind of overwhelmed with everything that you can do, all the possibilities, right?
Yes.
Right. So how did you hone in, and what did you hone in on?
All right. Well, before we joined sub 2, I'm sure we'll get into it later in the episode, but how we kind of, I guess it'd be what we did wrong, but we got in to the rental game, buy and hold, long term, and so I'll save some of that for later in the episode on, what we might have did wrong or whatever. But so looked at, hey, we want to have rentals. We want that passive income, especially since we both had W-2s. It's like, all right, let's dip our toes in the water with some rentals. And I'll tell everybody, get a property manager. I don't care if you got 1 or 1,000, get a property manager. I don't care your toilet's running at 2:00 in the morning.
I hear that.
So that all that's in the underwriting. So yeah, it was all about long-term rentals, and now having gone through sub 2, trying to shift more over to the co-living. Now I'm trying to flip a little bit as well. Awesome. So we currently have 17 long-term rentals right now.
Whoa.
And 2 flips is what we're working on.
So you did all this in a matter of 4 years?
Yep. It'll be 4 years here in a couple months.
Wow. That's incredible action, brother. That's incredible motion that you took, and are these all local to your area, or they're spread around the country? Tell us a little about that.
Yep. I'm in North Carolina, and all of our long-term rentals are in probably about an hour and a half from each other. I can get to them, 45 minutes that way, 45 minutes that way. But then as far as flipping, we flipped in Kansas City, and then we're doing another flip that's probably an hour and a half away from where I live now.
Wow. So obviously were all these creative deals, or these all sub 2 deals?
I hadn't done one creative deal yet.
No way. So
So either like Randy Moss says, straight cash, homie, or loans.
Okay. So this is all what traditional finance we're talking about?
We bought one. We bought a 4-pack on a commercial. We got a commercial loan for that, and then everything else is just traditional financing. Or we've got a line of credit and a HELOC that we've purchased stuff with.
Okay, so you kind of leverage your own resources to expand. Again, those are great strategies to undertake as well. Obviously, it's all in the underwriting and pulling that trigger, right?
Yes, sir.
So like you said, you do have property managers in place. Did you have a property managers from the gate, or were you self-managing, or?
Like I say, from 1 to 1,000, get a property manager.
Whoa,
man! I'm not, like I say, I don't care. I just want the money.
I hear that.
So yeah, we got a property manager. We're on our second one now. Our first one was good, but she retired. So we interviewed some people, and we're on our second one. And she manages all of our properties. She is amazing. One day she's gonna work for me.
Oh, that's dope. That's super dope. So what is it in a prop? What is it? And you already had experience with a manager. What are the things that you look for now that you had to look for another one?
Like what questions and things I would.
Sure.
Well, one would be how they advertise the home. I know other property managers, they don't do it on social media. They don't, all they do is stick a sign in the yard, and that's it. So how are they going to market my house? I don't want my house sitting empty for 3 months looking for somebody. So that's one. Obviously, another one is the price, how much it costs, and all the little fees. Like some people, they cost extra to send a repairman out, or it costs extra to evict somebody. So those little extras are something that people need to make sure they inquire about as well. Even application fees, a renter has to pay an application fee. Well, there's some people that the property management company charge the owner, the landlord, hey, this is money that kind of an application fee as well. So those are some things I would look out for.
And what are some of the skill sets? Since you mentioned you want her to work for you in the future, right? So she's doing something excellent for you to feel in that way, right? That you want to hold on to her. So
Yep.
what is it? Some of the things that she's doing to what are those traits and qualities that say to you, wow, this is someone I want to keep on permanently, let's say?
She's on it. She is fair but firm with the tenants. So she's not a bulldog on, hey, you're one day late, you're gonna get evicted. But after a couple times being late, which if they pay, they pay, they're like, she'll say, hey, this ain't working. This could be your last time. So fair but firm. She's always keeping us in the know. Like today, somebody don't have heat. We got snow forecast coming in tomorrow. So she's on it. She's letting us know, hey, such and such doesn't have heat. I'm on it. I got such and such going out there. Well, such and such went out there. She comes back. Hey, it's a part. He's going to do the part. He's going to fix it. It's 25 years old, so we need to fix it sooner rather than later. So she's on top of everything. And that's great. I don't want somebody on my team that's not going to keep me informed. Me as the owner, yes, I should be informed, but that's her job. She's supposed to manage the properties. And I think she does an outstanding job.
Yeah. And until you manage the managers, right? So,
Yep.
And the more information she gathers and provides to you, it gives you a sense of relief, right? She's on top of it. She's confident in what she's doing. She's taking the proper steps to resolve the issue, right? So she has all these problem solving skills that
Yep.
she can interact with whoever's providing that service.
Yep.
And you as the owner, right? So everyone's in the know, let's say, and we're on the right path to resolve the issue, which tells you, wow, I can scale with said person, right?
Yep.
So,
and she doesn't wait. It's always some people, you hear horror stories of, well, why didn't you tell me that the window's been broken for 3 months? Where she knows when it's broke. She'll go in and inspect the house. So, yeah,
that's great. I have a single family that had a tenant that literally just left the house Monday, still under lease. It was in the 5th month of a year lease, and literally just abandoned the place. Literally abandoned the place. Wow. Said she was leaving the country, and left all type of furniture behind. She broke a side fence gate that I had on a side of a house. It's just a fence to block from anyone going back and forth.
Okay.
And that's on the right hand side of there, and there's no traffic there. It's just a fence. And the other side of the fence is the next property, so it's it's a dead space. So that fence was ripped. Literally, the fence was, the pole was bent. I still don't understand how you can possibly bend a gate that way over there where it doesn't make no sense. Yeah. Maybe trying to put a car back there, or I don't know what they was doing. And then the fence on the other side, closer to the driveway, they ripped the fence out. Literally. So, but my property manager, again, she's on top of it. She has all these teams already built in. She has this network to connect people. She vets for me different pricing. If I tell her, hey, today I called her, I wasn't kind of satisfied with some of the numbers that I get. And she went back and kind of renegotiated some of the things that I was doing. So those are things that are important as well, to always keep abreast with your manager, that you're all on the same team, right?
Yes.
and there's something that you want to get off your chest. Hey, I think we can do better than this, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then she's willing to do that. Okay, let's do it. And, and come back with some feedback. Hey, okay, we could do this, we could do that. So, it's great to have, right?
Yes.
So it's good, especially as a long distance. Well, I have a long distance rent. That's a long distance rental. Regardless of what it is, you still want peace of mind. That's
yes.
You want to be an owner, right? That's why we're an owners club. You want to be an owner. We don't want to be a manager, right? So
yes.
we have big visions and big dreams. So we want to manage the manager, let's say. So that's great insight. Appreciate that. So let's get into some of those pitfalls, right? Because obviously we're in a business where we're problem solving, right?
Yep.
We're providing housing, and in this game, you're buying properties in said condition. You don't know the history of these properties. You know what your pitfalls. What are some of the pitfalls? What are some of the hard times that you encounter, and what do you learn from them?
Well, everybody does things differently. So, and everybody would think of pitfalls differently. My pitfall that I feel like we didn't do correctly was we bought everything. We bet on ourselves. And so we cashed out mutual funds and bought stuff. Like Randy Moss says, straight cash, homie. So it's like, we shouldn't have done that. In my knowing what I know now, I would not have done it that way, because now I'm looking for capital. I'm looking for other people's money, and not only to help me, but to help. There's people that wants to make returns on their money. So just trying to help people, them make money and me make money. But so one of the pitfalls that we did was we bought everything cash, and now we're kind of strapped for cash. And now I'm starting to try to flip to build up some more cash, as well as I'm trying to get capital to buy and hold properties. So that's pretty much the biggest thing in my journey so far, that I'm just not happy that the way that I did that.
Yeah, I guess those are lessons that in hindsight you look back with, now that you have new information, let's say, right? They say, wow, okay, man, I wish I knew more at that time, right? I was maybe ignorant to some the information that you might have now that you're like, man, I wish I would have, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But those are part of the game, right? And again, you've been super successful. You have multiple properties. So it's not a terrible situation to be in, right? Let's say, so it's just a pivoting, now you have a different mindset, obviously, right? You have different information that now you can implement moving forward, right? And you look like you have some strategies in place to kind of generate you some cash, right? Some, like I said, some transactional moves, some flips and stuff like that, just to rebuild that capital, right? Just to give you that cushion and pillow, right? That little soft pillow you can land on, right?
Yes, it's one of them, everybody's like, take action. Well, we took action. And, I wouldn't necessarily say we failed. So, but we took action, and now it's kind of okay, just like with everything, you're like, hey, what could I have done different? What should we do moving forward? And that's just something that we're going to be doing moving forward.
Yeah. So what would you tell someone new trying to get into the game, specifically what you're doing, someone who has a job, right? Who has a job, is looking at a pension and looking in the future, man, this ain't going to cut it. They're looking at the numbers and they say 20 years, 35 years, 35 years, the cost of living going to be 3 times what it is now. Man, this ain't going to do it, man. What am I going to do, man? What's Lance going to tell this said person? Yo, this is what you do.
I'm going to tell them, get a mentor, get with somebody that is doing the thing. And then get with them on how they're going to raise capital. All right. If I could go back, I would learn to raise capital first, because, people are like, hey, if you find a deal, the money will come. I'm the opposite way. Hey, if you got money, you can get the deal. And so I would tell that person, hey, go get a mentor, work with them. You've got a W-2 coming in. Just like we're learning in our masterminds, document from day one on social media. This is what I'm doing. This is what I'm learning. That's going to help you build the capital, because I'm not gonna go to Mando and say, hey, take my $150,000, because I don't know you're doing anything. But if I research you on social media and be like, oh, this dude's underwriting, this dude's been in real estate for a minute. Hey, let me invest my money in him. Let me learn what he's doing. And that way, once you learn how to raise capital, you can find a deal. There's all kinds of deals out there.
Yeah, that's awesome. Again, you hit it off the head when you on the button when you said that mentor. That mentor is super important. You want to kind of follow someone who's kind of blazed the trail already. So you can try to, like I said, if it's the kind of the buy and hold that you want, that's the type of person that you're looking for, right? That specific mentor for that specific goal that you're looking for. Because you don't want to go to someone who's a wholesaler, let's say, and you're looking to buy and hold properties. The match is not going to work. So you have to be somewhat intentional as well.
Yes.
But once you get that, just provide whatever value you can. And what he said, something very important in the era now, there's new documentation, that's social proof, right? Where people can see your story. This is what he's doing. This is what I'm growing. This is what I'm growing into. And people can see your journey and they want to be a part of it. They can always, invest the time with you. So it's all leveraging all these different opportunities where you can get to where you want to go to, right?
Yeah. So social media is the new business card. So put your goals out there, and don't worry about what people think. A lot of people are like, hey, go silent for 6 months and then you're going to be a new person. I don't agree. I think put your goals out there, and that way you're kind of forced. People are going to be like, hey, didn't 6 months ago you said you was going to do this? And then, yeah, you're right. You know what? I dropped the ball. Hey, you know what? I got you. So put them out there.
Yeah, absolutely. A little pressure doesn't hurt, right? A little pressure to get you going, right? Get that fire burning to get you out there. It never hurts, right? I kind of agree with that as well. You mentioned something earlier about your future, where you want to be. You mentioned co-living, right? So is that co-living model? There's obviously a rent by the room model. Is this kind of where you want to steer your business now away from? Because I'm assuming you have single family long-term rentals, right? So probably now you, like I said, back to the information that you gather some new information, right? And now you're seeing, wow, this might be the way. So is co-living, the rent by room strategy, where you headed to now?
Yes. I'm looking, a lot of long-term rentals doesn't pencil out anymore. Obviously you can find them, but you'll make more money on co-living, and co-living, you can still have a property manager. So I don't have to, it'll be a little bit more hands-on. I do not have any co-living right now, but I do know that it will be a little bit more hands-on that I'm going to have to do, but you can make more money. I can make the same amount of money in 10 co-living houses that I can in 50 single-family homes. Plus, a single-family home, if it ain't rented, I ain't bringing no money.
For sure.
Well, if one room isn't rented, I'm still bringing in something. So it's all about the underwriting there again, all about knowing your numbers. And that's where I'm focusing the buy and hold part of the business is towards co-living.
So obviously the co-living is the rent by room model. Is there a specific demographic of people you're trying to service? Is there a specific area that you're looking to focus on? Dive into that a little bit.
I've got some markets that I'm looking to go into. I'm trying to go into Orlando, Jacksonville, Atlanta, Raleigh, what else? Vegas, and I'm on the fence with Houston, but I'm trying. Those are my markets. I'm actually currently looking into trying to get a co-living, and I want it creative. I'm not. That's my next goal is I want to do co-living and I want it creatively. So
that's right. That's right. You speak it to existence, right? Manifest that. Manifest that, and tell the world this is what I'm looking for. So obviously he has a handful of markets, all predominantly obviously in the Southeast, kind of where the migration patterns have been trending over the last, let's say, decade. Now after COVID, it's exacerbated, tremendously. Obviously, me in the Northeast, like Florida, that's like our sixth borough. So you know how that works. So I'm totally in tune with what you're doing. And so you mentioned something about you probably have to be a little more hands-on. There's a model like Airbnb is a platform. There's a platform for co-living, which is called Pad Split. Is Pad Split something that you're going to be interjecting? Is that going to be part of your business as well? Or are you going to do this more, you're going to create your own systems and kind of run this yourself? But I doubt that because you mentioned property managers early. So let's get into that, right?
Yep. Pad Split is definitely that's the reason I chose those markets is because Pad Split's already there.
Okay.
Now my property manager, she manages co-living in my local area as well. So I'm not scared to do it around here as well. But those are those markets for co-living is exactly why is because Pad Split's already there. But they've already got the Airbnb model going.
That's leveraging other people's information to expand your business. Again, all that leverage that they provide, because they bring in the member, the member into the unit. Obviously, there's some algorithms that they figure out how much the pricing is for said rent by room strat, right? And then they're placed in the room, and you're responsible for the upkeep of the house, right? It's still your home. You're paying all the utilities, all those services. You're still on your books. They just happen to bring in the member, make sure the member's paying accordingly. So, which is great because they source that for you, right? That's something that you have to kind of, you don't have to be mindful of
marketing.
Right? So they do all that front end stuff. And obviously there's a split where they have to get paid. So there's definitely a split of the income when it comes in, obviously, right? They try to make it's a business, so they're making their, and which is cool, right? But again, you're leveraging all these information, all this data. Let's say that you can get some, and you on your buy box. You have any specific things you're looking for?
I'm wanting at least a 4.2, if not a 4.3. That way, and about 1,700 square feet or bigger. That way I can turn, a bed, a living room or a garage or an office or something into more rooms. So I'd like to be in the 7 bedroom, 7.3 is typically what I'm looking for.
That's great. Again, this is what they called single family home making multi-family returns.
I like it. I like it.
Right. So it's a great opportunity. It's kind of where the industry is going, and it's because there's a need for housing.
Yes.
Affordability is out of control. Salaries are not matching the rate of inflation. People more transient. People not getting married as more as they used to. So people are just, moving along, hopping along. And instead of paying for a big old apartment, let's say they could be an entrepreneur, starting a company, and they don't want to get themselves into a house or a fancy apartment. They're just grinding it out, right? And I just need a room where I can just focus, spend my time, creating my ideas, my business, and I just have literally a place to stay.
Yep.
Right? It could be someone who's trying to save money to buy a house. Man, it makes more sense for me to pay whatever it is, a week for a room, 150, 200, whatever your number is,
Right.
man, that makes more sense for me to do that, work my 2 jobs, right? I don't have to, the rent is not going to kill my pocket, and it's going to get me to my goal, which is, let's say, to afford a home or a nice co-op, whatever it is, right? So
Right.
there's many avatars or characteristics of a member who are trying to live in your property, right? Which is dope as well, right? So I love the model.
So, something else that you didn't mention that I kind of think of is the divorce rate out of control in the U.S. All right, so people get splitting up or whatever. Not everybody can afford an apartment that whatever. So you know what? I'm gonna stay in this room, and maybe we make up, maybe we don't, but it's cheaper to stay in this room. Also, something that I've thought about is there's a lot of people that have long commutes, and so I don't know if it happens, but it's just something that I've thought about. Is what if that these people that have really long commutes, I know some people that fly to a spot, work there Monday through Friday, and then fly home for the weekend. All right. What about that Monday through Friday? They just have a room. That they don't have to stay at a one of these extended hotel places or whatever. They can stay in a house, which has got a different feeling. Even though you're living with other people, it's still a different vibe than an extended stay. Just something that I've thought about.
Sure. Let's say like insurance adjusters, someone like that who maybe have to travel around the country, right? And they just looking for a place to stay. I'm in Orlando for a week during this time of season. Hey, I got a room. I'm good. It's near the city, right? And it's in the vicinity where I need to be at. This is it, right? So those are opportunities that are definitely something to look forward to as well when you get into that space more, right?
Yes.
Out to adjusters, insurance companies, people who may be looking for spaces like this as well.
I got one of my boys. He used to fix dents in cars, so he would go to places out in the Midwest where they got hailstorms, and he'd go out there for months at a time. All he did was work. He just needs a place for his head. Perfect idea for a pad split.
Absolutely. As more you think of it and you're more in that space, right? Those horizons broadening, just a conversation like this where we literally masterminding ideas, how to figure out. We just figured out a couple, literally just made up some stuff that we can jot down, or anyone who's watching could say, hey, maybe there's something here, right? Which is those are great opportunities to be able to say to yourself, hey, this is a space that I want to be into, but I have to commit and do things that I want to be able to grow. And by doing that, I have to say, let's say, live in that space mentally. Let's say you want to be in that space to figure things out. So yeah, Lance. Now, this section is the makings of a hero, right? This is where we want to vision forecast. What are your goals in the industry? What are your big dreams? What do you want to accomplish in this space, brother?
Well, like an owners club, we got our Mount Everest. That everybody's supposed to be climbing up to try to do our 5-year goal. Well, because I was in the Army and law enforcement, I ran the IT department there for about 17 years. I know veterans, military people, and I know law enforcement. So I want to help 500 either active duty or veterans and law enforcement officers with affordable housing, whether it's co-living or single family, multifamily, however. I want to do that within 500 people within the next 5 years.
That's a great goal. That's, you're off to an incredible start. You've been in the game 4 years, 5 years. You set a goal. You said, all right, this is where I want to be. You kind of looked at your pain point. You said, man, this is not it. This is the life I don't want. Now let's make that decision. the universe, opened all these doors up after you said, you know what, this is kind of what I want. You kind of manifested it and say, these are the steps, and you've done a lot, brother. You know what I'm saying? Kudos to you. You've accomplished a lot in a short period of time.
Thank you.
You have a incredible network of people now that you're surrounded with, that you can get to that mission, right? Get to that mission that you want to accomplish. Is there anything that you're looking for, and anything you need?
Anybody wants to invest with me, hit me up. Whether it's I'm looking for partners. I'd love to have some partners. Give somebody some equity, some cash flow. Don't mind. I'm a proven operator. Or if somebody just wants to lend some money on some flips or whatever. So I want to help people as well, because I feel like I do know a little bit. So, people just get into the game. I just got a phone call with somebody today that's like, hey, I got your number. I just want to know a little bit about you or whatever. And so we talked, and it's like, hey, hit me up. You got my number. You need anything, let me know. I really, that just makes me feel good. But besides mentoring, some people on some things, capital.
For sure. And how can we reach you, brother?
I'm everywhere at Lance Willard. That's LanceWilliard, on all socials.
That's awesome. I'll
put that. Boy.
Yeah, no doubt. We're gonna do that. We're gonna put that in the description in the show notes. I'm gonna put your social media links there where people can reach out to you. Lance, again, brother, appreciate you for coming on. Again, drinks on you the next time. I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking to break your pocket. You know what I'm saying?
Let's do it.
Right. But again, appreciate you, brother. You know what I'm saying? You're a great guy. You're doing a lot of big things, a big dream of making things really go. Right. So much appreciated.
Much love.
Yeah, man. All right, my brother. Thank you for coming.
All right, man.
The sucker's not.